evening. I'm Christy Walker along with Steve Brailsford, and we'll be calling all of tonight's action in another GLVC competition. And tonight, Steve, they take on Lewis University, and the Dons shouldn't have too much trouble tonight.
Well, we hope not. Lewis got off to a poor start in their opener on Thursday night. They lost to Ashland 74-59. They're 2-6 on the year. IPFW hopes to bounce back tonight.
Yeah, IPFW, if you weren't with us, lost to St. Joe on Thursday night. I think it was mostly a little bit of jitters on their part. They came out, I talked to Eileen Kleinfelder before this game, and she said they just wanted to play so hard and play well in GLVC, and that was their first conference game, and instead of playing well, everything went the other way, and they couldn't get their offense off in the first half.
So tonight they want to work on their defense a little more, hit their shots, and get better shots, and hopefully they'll prevail over maybe an undermanned Lewis squad tonight.
And that shouldn't be a problem. Another thing Eileen told me about prior to the game is that they worked on their man-to-man, and that also applies to the defense, and I think they shouldn't have too many problems. Lewis doesn't have really any main shooters. The highest average shooter on their team is 13.6, where we have, fortunately, Lisa Miller, and she's averaging 26.7 points a game and is leading the NCAA right now in shooting, and I think they'll have a hard time stopping the Dons tonight.
Well, hopefully Lisa Miller will roll and continue to lead the nation in scoring.
And we'll be right back with you after these messages.
There was a time many people thought that economics had very little to do with everyday life. Today, it seems there's very little in everyday life that does not have to do with economics. Enroll in the Economics USA telecourse. It's an education for life.
French in Action, the first complete television course in French language and culture, opens a new era in language learning.
Très poli.
Mademoiselle.
Il est très poli.
Excusez-moi.
A television course in 52 lessons centers around a wonderful romantic comedy filmed entirely on location in France. The story of Mireille, Robert, Marie-Laure, and the mysterious man in black will help you to learn, to understand, and to speak French.
Bonjour.
Tenez, regardez cette dame là-bas. Elle va dire merci.
Pierre Capretz of Yale University, one of this country's most distinguished language teaching specialists, will be your companion and guide. Watch French in Action.
What do you really give when you give blood?
Another summer. Another dance.
How you doing?
Another song. Another hug.
Good game, man. Don't worry about it.
Another date. Another moment.
When you give blood, you give another chance.
And good evening. Once again, we're back, this time up in our little booth and off the floor, and we're glad you can join us this evening for more GLVC action. And tonight, once again, if you just tuned in, IPFW will be taking on Lewis University, and Lewis is 2-6 overall, IPFW 6-3. Both are 0-1 in GLVC, and that loss came to St. Joe for IPFW just Thursday evening. And let's see, I had a score here for you. 10 points, 88-78, St. Joe. And we're going to get ready here pretty soon. Lewis hasn't come off the floor yet, Steve. And they've warmed up the entire time, didn't go into the locker room.
Well, hopefully they've shot themselves out.
Well, according to their statistics, I would think they needed a little bit more warm-up. Like we said earlier, their leading scorer is Renee Kanek, and she has 13.3 points a game, and Bonnie Richrath for them has 11.5. And so they have a low-scoring average. We have Lisa Miller with 27.0, Pam Edwards with 15.2, and Tina Manier with 11.7 points per game. So that pretty much puts IPFW up on a higher level. And I tell you what we're going to do right now. We're going to throw it down the floor and let you hear tonight's lineups between Lewis and IPFW.
Your IPFW Lady Dons. First, the starting lineup for Lewis University, coming in at 2 and 6. At one guard, a 5'5" senior from Gardner, Illinois, number 11, Tiffany Lardy. At the other guard, a 5'6" sophomore from Melrose Park, Illinois, number 21, Julie Giles. At the center position, a 5'11" freshman from Darien, Illinois, number 41, Brenda Wagrizin. At one forward, a 5'6" junior from Cloverdale, Indiana, number 31, Ann Hutchinson. And at the other forward, a 5'10" sophomore from Elmhurst, Illinois, number 42, Bonnie Richrath. The head coach for Lewis University in her 6th season is Patty High. And now the starting lineup for your IPFW Lady Dons. At one guard, the leading scorer in Division II basketball, a 5'9" senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 24, Lisa Miller. At the other guard, a 5'7" junior from Waterloo, Indiana, number 45, Tina Manier. At the center position, a 5'11" junior from Jeffersonville, Indiana, number 43, Pam Edwards. At one forward, a 5'10" junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 44, Amy Hogan. The other forward, a 5'9" senior from Huntington, Indiana, number 35, Shelley Sands. IPFW is coached in her first season by Eileen Kleinfelter. She is assisted by Diana Small. The officials for tonight's GLVC game are Mike Alford and Jeff.
And that's the starting lineups for tonight, and we'll fill you back in on those as we get the girls out on the floor, and they're getting ready to head out from their last-minute huddles to for the final tip-off here to get this game underway. IPFW, if they have any kind of play like they did in the last half against St. Joe, they should be playing very well tonight. They outshot and outscored St. Joe the second half, but it just wasn't enough as they were down 21 points at the halftime, and they just couldn't get enough to come back. But they gave it a good shot, and so we'll see how they come out in tonight, their second GLVC game. And the tip-off will be controlled by IPFW. IPFW looking for someone open inside, dumps it off to Edwards, up and in, and that's Pam Edwards' first 2 points of the game. And that was a good start for IPFW.
Yeah, I can hear something now, but there's still some...
And Pam just got a steal. Lewis threw it away. IPFW grabs it under the basket, and they have control. Amy Hogan underneath to Edwards. Edwards looks inside, finds Miller, but Miller gets hacked and doesn't go. The foul will go on number 41, Brenda Wegrosen.
Brenda's got a tough name.
Wegrosen, I think that is. Try to correct that as the night goes on.
Lisa will be shooting 2. Scored 30 in her last ball game, and as we mentioned in the pregame, is one of the, if not one of the national leaders in the scoring at about 27 points a ball game. And now what's the discussion here?
I don't know. We're going to find out here, though. Keep an eye out. It should be 2 shots.
And that's what she'll get.
Yeah, it was a shooting violation. And the first one is good. Lisa's also got a chance for quite a few free throw records. And the second one is good. She's been shooting 80.6% from the free throw line, and that just shows from those last 2 free throws. IPFW pressing early in the game and causes another turnover.
That's one of Lewis's problems during the season. They've committed a lot more turnovers than their opponents this year.
And that was one of them right there. IPFW with another chance to bring the ball down the floor. It's 4-0 IPFW lead early in this matchup. Tina Manier shoots and scores. Good basket by Tina Manier. We've had some audio problems here, so if it sounds like we were cutting in and out, you were probably hearing us correctly. We couldn't hear each other, so we were getting quite confused up here. But hang in there with us. We got it corrected, and we'll get going with this ball game now.
Let's be honest, I went to get a hot dog.
Okay. You didn't bring me back one, though. It's not fair. And there's going to be a foul on IPFW. Tina Manier a little bit still under the weather. The flu, of course, going around everywhere. And she's the only one that really had got the bad case on the team, and they kind of kept her away for a long time. But she's out there trying to get her strength back, and you can tell a little bit she's not as quick as she can be on the floor. And there's a quick shot by Lewis, and it's in and out. Pam Edwards pulls down a strong rebound. Manier's going to take it on one-on-one, up, and she scores.
No effect of the flu there.
Nope. And the press this time is broken by Lewis. They have someone open. They dump it underneath, and Brenda Wegrosen misses that one. IPFW regains the ball once again. It's 8-0. IPFW leads early in this matchup. Lisa Miller shoots, and no problem with that one. I definitely would say, Steve, that the jitters are gone. And there they cause another turnover, and that was a nice move by Lisa Miller. She was on top of it and caused Lewis to once again make another bad pass.
Well, looking at the stats for Lewis so far this season, they're getting outscored heavily in the first half of their ball games, and they're getting outscored in the second half too, but they tend to get behind early. They're getting out rebounded, they're committing more turnovers, and their shooting percentage is lower than their opponents. So Lewis has a tough task tonight to try to take on the very offensive-minded Lady Dons. And nice save.
Yeah, their IPFW almost had the throwaway there underneath the basket. Threw it inside, almost lost it out of bounds, but off Lewis' hands last, and it's still IPFW's ball. And that was one of IPFW's problems against St. Joe is turnovers. They committed more than they've committed all year in a single game.
They were a little tight, and it showed in their performance.
And there's a new shot clock. Manier missed that, but rebound by Lisa Miller. Looking inside Edwards, she's open, turns, shoots, and scores. And that was a nice inside move by Pam Edwards. And this press looks like it's really going to cause Lewis some problems. They don't have some real good ball handlers, at least what we've seen so far. And the press is causing them a lot of confusion, but there's a three-point shot up and short. IPFW with the rebound, and Hutchinson couldn't quite get it there.
Whoops.
And Manier just a little bit energetic on that one, throws the ball away as Lisa Miller was cutting backside.
Substitution for Lewis, number 32, Renee Kanak, into the lineup. For number 11, Tiffany Lottie.
And Renee Kanak enters the lineup for Lewis Flyers, the Lady Flyers.
And they've been grounded a lot this year so far.
I was just going to say they haven't been doing much flying, but you
and
beat
there's
me
a turn.
to it.
Oh, nice save.
Oh, there was a nice look underneath the basket, and that was Julie Giles.
Breakdown in the defense. It looked like it was a turnover, and the Lady Dons reacted like it was going to be their ball.
I think they got a little excited. They've pressed so well so far, and they've got the ball to be turned over, and that was a basket by Pam Edwards. But they caused the defense to be pulled to one side and allowed the cut to the basket on that last one for Lewis. And there's a basket by Ann Hutchison. Starting to warm up a little bit, scores 14-4. IPFW leads in the first half, 15:52 remaining, so it's still very early. Lisa Miller moves, cuts to the basket, and scores. Nice move by Lisa Miller. And Lewis brings the ball down the floor quickly to try to prevent that trap. And they're looking to go inside. And there's a three-point shot up and good by Renee Kanek. And the Lewis hands are now getting hot. IPFW is going to have to watch the outside defense as it seems that Lewis is going to throw it up from that three-point line, Steve.
Well, they have to try to get back in the ball game somehow. But no matter how many threes they show up, if they don't shut off the inside game of the Lady Dons and not turn the ball over like they just did, Lewis is in for a long bus ride back home.
And there's a frustration foul by Tina Manier. She stole the ball, turned and shot, missed. Lewis rebounded, and just a crazy foul to reach around, grabbing for that ball. And that's her second personal, and that's early.
She got in foul trouble last night, and in the middle of Thursday in the Lady Dons rally, she fouled out. And I can't say that her being in the game would have changed the result, but they can't afford to have her on the bench.
Baseline was open there for Lewis, but they weren't able to convert the basket, and IPFW once again with another chance to score. Miller goes outside to Hogan. She looks inside, but we're going to have a traveling call as Amy Hogan took a step there before she passed off the ball.
And pivot.
We're going to see Amy Perkins tonight. We didn't see any of her last game. Jamie LaRue came in.
Well, I have an idea that we may see the whole bench tonight the way if IPFW plays to their talents and their strengths, they should be able to handle Lewis. So far, so good.
Perkins did come in for Manier to give Manier a break and also to keep her from getting any more fouls this early in the first half. Lewis looking for an open shot. They have to take it. 8 seconds was left on the shot clock, and they weren't able to convert. Lisa Miller with the rebound, and she's going to take the ball down the floor and up. No, she's going to pass off to Sands, and it's stolen by number 31, Ann Hutchison. Read that pass. Lewis looks outside, stops, shoots. Missed jump shot. Miller with the rebound.
There should be 2 and a foul. Up.
Not quite enough. She tried to go up, I think, a little bit early, and the ball was just a little short.
Well, she was trying to draw the foul, but she just got hammered enough that she couldn't get the layup off. But another chance for 2 from the line for Lisa Miller. She's got 6 already.
And we have another substitution for Lewis Flyers. Brenda Weg-Rosen coming back into the ball game for Bonnie Richrath. Lewis, I think, just trying to find that 5-man team out there right now to get going on their offense as they trail this game 9 points.
What? Lisa missed?
And Lisa missed a free throw. Kim Recker's going to come into the ball game.
One problem Lewis has going for them is they have a very young team. Their regular starting lineup is 3 sophomores, a freshman, and a junior. So that's part of their problem, is just a little bit of inexperience. And of course tonight they're facing a pretty veteran IPFW ball club.
And I'm sure that experience will come with time for them, and in a couple years down the road they might be a pretty tough team to meet on the floor. And the press continues, but Lewis breaks it once again, and there's a trap. They dribble around, and the shot is up and no good, and Lisa Miller had a rebound.
Oh,
and they're going to call a charge.
Good play by Amy Hogan. Set herself, and she was charged into by Lisa Binder.
And there's Lewis coach. And that's Patty High, I believe is the way you pronounce that. So it's not only the players' names, we got the coach.
We'd appreciate a team that had a lot of Smiths and Jones just for one game.
Perkins dumps it inside to Recker. She runs into traffic. Oh, and there's going to be a foul called. I believe it's going to be on number 21, Julie Giles of the Lady Flyers. And it is. That's her first foul. Team's fourth. And so the ball will be out of bounds as it was a non-shooting foul. Bonnie Richrath coming back into the game, and Julie Giles will sit out for a little while. PFW gets the ball in, and a strong move to the basket by Pam Edwards. And Pam's shooting really well from the inside right now.
She has 10 points already tonight. She could be our Dandy Don player of the game.
And that's something, if you're watching closely, and I would have to say most of the game, you can keep your eye out and see who you think is the player of the game. We know that it could be Lisa Miller most of the time, but
so we like to spread it around.
We try to spread it around a little bit, so we have had Lisa Miller on, so you can kind of look for someone else during this game, and if you see someone, see if you had the same pick that we did. Oh, and there was kind of a crazy move by Lewis, and Pam runs into a little bit of traffic there.
Nice job by Edwards.
Outside to Miller, she finds the open spot, turns and shoots, but this time she was too far behind the basket, hit the side of the backboard, and Lewis ends up with the basketball.
14-point lead. Nice to see.
And there's a three-point shot up and good, and that's a hot hand for Ann Hutchison, as I believe that's her second three-pointer so far in the game.
It is correct.
Pam Edwards, and this time it's no good. Recker tries to throw it back up. Too many hands on the ball, though, and Lewis manages to pull that one down. Lot smaller crowd tonight. I don't think there's anybody on Lewis's team that's from Fort Wayne. We had quite the crowd the other night as the women took on St. Joe, and there was quite a few Fort Wayne girls playing on both teams. Drew quite the crowd. Hopefully there'll be some more people wandering in as the guys play also this evening against Lewis. So if you feel like staying tuned and watching another good basketball game, the IPFW men will be playing next. Lewis brings the ball down the floor, dumps it inside. Wagerson hits. Nice fadeaway shot by Brenda Wagerson. You dump it inside to Recker. She turns. Too strong off the glass, and they're going to get a foul there on Lisa Miller. Trying to grab the rebound. Lewis University had position under the basket. And that's also the team fourth foul for IPFW. So we're all 4 and 4. It's 21 and 12. IPFW leads. 11:34 remaining in the first half. And the press will continue with IPFW. Lewis has been successful with breaking it, though, ever since the first few minutes of the game, where IPFW caused about 4 or 5 turnovers in a row to get that quick lead. There was a quick shot by 31.
Dressler on the rebound.
Dawn Dressler came into the game on me there. Didn't even see her get in.
Just snuck in behind the monitor.
I guess so. Sands going outside to Perkins. Perkins over to Miller. Miller shoots, and that one's no good, but Sands rebounds, puts it up and in. Lewis breaks the press quickly this time. 3 on 2. They take it up. No, they're going to pull it out. And that was a pass right into interference there, and so Dawn Dressler ends up with the basketball. IPFW with another chance to take, it's going to be a 14-point lead in the game.
Whoop.
Not if they don't hit a basket.
Recker looked like he was centering the ball on that play.
And there was a turnover, Lewis ball. Lady Flyers desperately needing some quick baskets. Try to get themselves back into this game earlier in the first half.
Another turnover. Little pesky guard, Amy Perkins, stripped it away.
Perkins takes it herself, up and no good. She almost got the roll. Would have been nice to see that ball. And there was a shot by Ann Hutchinson.
And she fouls Kim Recker.
That's just over aggressiveness, I believe, on her part, trying to make up.
And here's the replay on that, and Wrecker had good position and got the foul. Hutchison's putting the ball up a lot tonight for averaging 6 points a game.
She has that with her first 2 shots, so maybe that paid off, that extra halftime shoot or prior game shooting. They never went into the locker room. They stayed out for all, I believe, 20 minutes that I saw, warming up.
Just working on their game.
And IPFW dumps it inside to Hogan, and she's going to be fouled. And that's going to be on number 51, Heather Podgorski.
Amy Hogan looking to score yet tonight. She was our Dandy Don player of the game Thursday night. She had a couple baskets that fueled that run that got the Lady Dons back into the ball game with St. Joseph.
Yeah, from a 21-point deficit, they got back into within 4 points, but just ran out of time with about a minute and a half left. And St. Joseph was just able to pull it out, ended up winning it by 10 points, 88-78. And it was a tough loss for IPFW, seeing it was their first conference game. But I feel sorry for Lewis, as I'm sure they'll try to make up for that this evening.
They will feel the wrath of the Lady Dons.
Amy Hogan, shot is good. IPFW trying to steal the ball once again with the full court press. And we got a traveling violation. Easy to say from up here, but you got to put that basketball down before you move the feet. I know with pressure on you, it's not that easy to do.
Lewis just having all kinds of problems hanging onto the ball and keeping their pivot foot set tonight. In part because of the pressure defense of the Lady Dons.
And Amy calls for the ball outside and shoots, and just shy of a 3-point. That's a 2-point basket for Amy Hogan. Lewis dumps the ball down low.
Nice defense by Dressler.
And a substitution for IPFW. Michelle Conley's coming into the ball game for Kim Wrecker. I think our tests are going to be tonight on our own team, as I see that we are going to probably put many of the players, if not all of them, off the bench tonight for some action in tonight's game.
That'll be good to see. Nothing like a route to build confidence as to start the conference season.
Lewis going to go the weak side, and the shot is up and no good. And that foul's going to be on Lewis University, numbers 34, Lisa Bender.
She hammered Shelly Sands, who had position for the rebound, down pretty hard. Let's see the replay on that. As Shelly will be shooting the 1-and-1 here.
And we'll watch the 1-and-1.
Well, we can just imagine. We saw the replay, and there she had the good position. She's hammered to the ground. Now she's going to the line.
That's good, Steve. IPFW with a 14-point lead, 9:06 remaining in the first half.
Shelly with a bucket so far tonight, looking for her 3rd and 4th points.
First one is up and no good. Rebound IPFW. Amy Hogan with the strong rebound, puts it up herself and rolls in.
Nice offensive rebound and really muscled that ball back up and in through 2 players.
Oh, and Lewis missed their open player under the basket, so they're going to have to look for an open shot. IPFW playing good defense so far this evening.
That was a walk, but they didn't call it.
And Lisa Binder doesn't make it. Lisa Miller comes out of all the traffic. I believe will take this on herself and does. No good. Lewis rebound.
Tried to draw the foul, but fish weren't biting. There's the walk. Pam Edwards back into the ball game for the Lady Dons as Shelly Sands will take a break. Also, Jamie LaRue's been in for a couple possessions here for the Lady Dons, the freshman.
Jamie came in to fill Tina Manier's position last night, which was a tough one considering the IPFW Dons had to try to come back in that game, but she did a good job for IPFW that just wasn't there.
Oop. Miller had the rebound and couldn't grab it and pull it in.
Yeah, during the interview last night, they basically just said they just didn't play real good defense, and that hurt them.
They're playing a lot better tonight. Another turnover.
And the coach with a little bit of advice there, stop your feet and just shoot.
Well, the last time down, Binder did that same move, and the ref didn't notice her pick up the pivot foot, but she didn't get away with it that time.
Yeah, they'll miss it every once in a while. They shouldn't miss it all the time. And LaRue will bring the ball down. As I call her, one of our two twins on the team, her and Perkins. But they're not twins. I'll say that right now so no one gets the mistake.
In fact, they're not even related.
No, not related at all. Conley looks inside to Edwards. Edwards turns, shoots.
Oh.
No good. A little short this time. Annie Leakin comes up with the ball. I'm surprised it's not a jump ball, and there it finally is as they battle it down to the ground.
Substitution for Lewis, number 31, Ann Hutchinson back in the lineup.
And possession arrow, we now know, goes to Lewis University, so IPFW if they can tie it up, or Lewis again, it will be IPFW's ball, but for now it's Lewis.
And the Lady Dons are relentless on the full court defense. Whoop.
Oh, and there was almost a travel, but she stops, turns back, and shoots. Lisa Binder that time didn't carry that foot. She almost picked it up.
She wanted to, though. That's the trouble with that full court pressure. It generally leaves a 2-on-1 and your disadvantage at the other end, and Lady Dons got burned there.
And Annie Leakin driving toward the basket there draws the foul by number 34, Lisa Binder. So
She'll shoot a free throw or two.
Number 34, Lisa
one good move on one end of the floor, and you go down to the other and you foul, and that's her third foul. Now that's 7:04 remaining in the first half. I believe they will have to get her off the floor.
Yeah, that's not good.
into the Lewis lineup, number 32.
And they do. Number 32, Renee Canick coming back in for 34, Lisa Binder. And Ann Leakin will be on the line.
Didn't see Ann on Thursday's ball game, but she's averaging 4.8 points a game for the Lady Dons this season, looking for her first conference point tonight. As the Lady Dons have doubled the score on Lewis, 28-14. Still 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Whoop.
And we got
a scrum going.
And there's the possession. Oh, and this will be IPFW. I was going to say, I thought they were going to point Lewis' way, and I was saying, I just commented on that just a second ago, that if they could tie it up, it'd be IPFW's possession. A little bit of information on Anna. It is that, you know, we didn't see her last night, so considering the amount of time you play, obviously is going to project on your statistics, but she's a sophomore, and she's hit 11 of 12 field goal attempts so far this season, and that's good for an amazing .917 percentage. So she is also shooting .875 from the foul line. So Annie's not doing too bad. We haven't seen a whole lot of her, but when she's in the ball game, she's played very well for the Dons.
Conley got fouled, and she'll go to the line for two. She's got 22 points total on the season.
And
nice
she makes
form.
the first one. And if she makes this one, IPFW will have a 16-point lead in the ballgame, and they do. Another substitution for IPFW. Shelly Sands coming in for Michelle Conley. Michelle played well for the time we've seen her so far tonight, so it's a good sign for Coach Eileen Kleinfelder to be able to get in some extra players and have them play well. Helps build their confidence when they do have to come in a tight situation. And there's a basket by number 41, Brenda Wagerson. And IPFW didn't turn it over, like I was going to say, because number 32, Renee Canick, got her hand on the ball. So IPFW remains with control. Lewis playing a 3-2 zone, which hasn't caused too many problems for IPFW as they keep dumping it inside, but Edwards misses that one, and that's Pam's second miss so far. She was on a roll there.
Lady Dons have gone a bit cold here suddenly.
And we're going to have possession. This time it'll go to Lewis.
Who's ever working the possession arrow is really having a workout tonight.
And there's a shot there of the Lewis Flyers head coach, who I think just has a lot of patience right now with this young team and is just hoping that she can keep them going in the right direction. And there's a shot up and good by Renee Kanek. And it's down to a 12-point lead. So with our
keep plugging away here.
That's right. We got a timeout here for IPFW. All of a sudden, IPFW has got a cold hand, hasn't been hitting any baskets, and Lewis is back to within 12 points.
The College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including our monthly sports programming. To receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to College Cable Access Center at IPFW. The address, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana. The zip code, 46805-1499. Or you can call us at 481-6582.
And we appreciate anything and everything that you can do to help out this broadcasting system that IPFW puts on. It's a great chance for students to actually get on-hand experience. And unfortunately, I went out here, Steve, and it wasn't all put together when I was in school. And it's really nice to see how well this program has been built and the things that the different students can do and actually have hands-on experience to try to get into the field a little bit easier.
Yeah, when I was in school, there was no television, so it's pretty neat.
And IPFW inbounds the basketball, and we've got lots of new faces in and a couple of our familiar ones. LaRue out to Hogan. Hogan looking for an open shot, and they're trying to look inside. And there, Shelly Sands, as she tries to dribble inwards, draws the foul by number 21, Julie Giles. And that's her third foul, and it looks like Lewis is kind of going to get into some foul trouble early here in the first half. That's their second player with 3 fouls. And it's a 1-and-1 for IPFW.
Shelly.
And Shelly hits the first. And we got
third point.
Substitution, Tiffany Lardy coming in.
For number 21, Julie Giles.
IPFW has been shooting very well from the foul line.
You jinxed her.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have said that till afterwards. Just in the last couple games, the Mastodons have shot a combined 86.2 from the free throw line, and that's 50 out of 58, so
Great
that's
steal
not
by
too
Miller.
bad.
Lisa filled the passing lane there, drove right by a defender,
and puts it in. And that's why she's leading the NCAA in scoring.
Well, the great thing about her is, in addition to her scoring, I mean, she hustles, she rebounds, she passes the ball. It's not like she just sits around and shoots 3-pointers. I mean, she's a real team player.
Definitely. And we're going to have another timeout, and this time Lewis University is going to call it. The Lady Flyers need a timeout. Time to think as IPFW's hand warms back up a little bit. 33 to 18 IPFW, 4:54 remaining in the first half.
And we'll be right back for more GLVC basketball action right after these brief messages.
How can you tell if a child is growing normally, if baseball is getting better, or traffic is getting worse? How do you know about stock market trends, the risk of cholesterol, the history of witchcraft, or the future of spacecraft? With statistics, that's how. And how can you find out about statistics? With the new Statistics series, Against All Odds.
And welcome back as IPFW leads 33 to 18 with 4:54 remaining in the first half. And Lewis will have control of the ball as they just called the timeout there to see if they could set something up against IPFW's good defense so far this evening.
The coach probably just trying to settle them down, get them into their things that they want to do.
And there they opened up 31. This time it's a little short, Ann Hutchinson. Then they were trying to pull the defense out a little bit there in the last play. You could tell they were trying to open the inside up. Oh,
nice rebound by Edwards and
they're
the
going to
foul.
count the basket. Amy Hogan had a strong move to the basket, didn't quite fall. Pam pulls the rebound down, puts it back up, draws the foul, so it's a chance for a three-point opportunity here for Pam Edwards.
Pam's got 12 points already tonight. And 13.
Converts that three. Lewis almost with the turnover, but they get the ball across the timeline. Up and then
Edwards nailed in a foul.
Tiffany Lardy drew the foul. And that's her second personal
replay
foul.
of that. Edwards gets her on the arm going up. Couldn't quite get over in time on defense. Got to fill that lane and keep him from driving up the middle.
Tiffany Lardy shooting here. Guard from Illinois and misses the first. 18-point lead right now for IPFW. So women haven't had too many problems with Lewis, the Lady Flyers, so far. And we got a violation there as she stepped across that front line.
Show you what kind of a night it's been for Lewis. The leading scorer on the floor has 5 points for them so far.
Well, it's pretty consistent with their average from what we've seen earlier, 13 points being their lead scorer, but that's what's going to help them. And there's a nice basket by Shelly Sands. That'll help them as they get a little older and they get more used to playing with each other. That scoring will come up.
Well, the inside game for the Lady Dons is working pretty good. They were a little cold a little bit ago, but now they're getting some offensive rebounds and putting it back up and scoring. Sands there. Edwards has done it tonight. Amy Hogan's done it.
And Lewis drops the ball to the weak side. They're trying to pull the defense out a little bit, open up that inside game, and so far it hasn't worked. They're going to have to get a shot off, though, but IPFW steals the ball.
Hogan on the pass deflection.
Perkins looks out to Sands. Sands stops, shoots, and scores.
7 on the night.
And Perkins kisses the floor there a little bit. And there's a shot up by Tiffany Lardy, no good. Pam Edwards with another rebound. Pam playing really hard tonight, and you can tell it. She's a little slow coming back down.
Lisa Miller just got hammered there.
I guess if you're going to foul, you might as well make it good.
Well, if you're going to foul, make sure the shot doesn't go in, and she hit her hard enough so that the ball had no chance of getting up and into the basket.
24, Lisa Miller.
She'll have 2. Got her down for 9 points tonight.
First one is good.
That's unofficial because I lost one of our baskets, so I'm not sure. There's 2 points out there that I don't know who scored. Maybe Lisa did.
It's quite possible, and the second one's good.
Again in double figures for sure. Another steal. Sands this time. She'll get a chance to cash it in, and does.
Off of the steal, the basket for number 35, Shelly Sands.
44-18.
2:40 left. They're going to go weak side. Shot is up and bounces off. No good.
Sands on the rebound. Look out.
Oh, and that is going to be a charge.
Foul.
Nice setup there by Tiffany Lardy. She knew the ball was going to come out to Lisa Miller, gave her the couple steps to gain control of the ball, and that's just an automatic charge.
Got to know where you're running before you start running there. But at this juncture, not a critical foul.
It's Lisa's second. Lewis still looking for a hot hand, and right now they haven't had one. Been stuck on 18 for a little while. And outside to Hutchison, and it doesn't
Rebound and
fall.
foul on 40.
Audra Ross over the back on Pam Edwards.
One thing Pam does really well is gets that inside position on the rebound, and she's been having no trouble keeping position against Lewis tonight.
Audra Ross is a 6'1" freshman out of German Valley, Illinois.
Another of the freshman crew that the Lewis Flyers have. It's a young team. I'm sure the coach didn't have any conference title expectations this year, and this is just a year where you try to, actually a game like this, even though they're down by 26 points, they're trying to learn how to play the college game, and they're being taught by a very good IPFW team tonight.
And IPFW pulls down that rebound off missed free throw, and Edwards calls for the ball, shoots and scores. And we've got a violation down on the end, as I believe she took a step before she inbounded the ball.
I should amend that. I don't think their coach wanted to get beat this bad in a learning experience, but you have to learn to fight through these kind of games.
Well, down the road, they're going to be tough. They have some height. They have 3 girls over 6 foot. So if they can get down with their practice, their shooting and everything, they're going to be tough down the road. And there's a nice basket by Ann Hutchison.
One thing you have to do in basketball, whether you're winning or losing, is you're not playing to what the score is. You're just playing. And I'm sure that so far the Lewis Flyers have been playing hard despite the fact they're down by 26 points.
And Kim Recker there looks for a shot, couldn't get it as it rolled off the top of the hands of a Lewis player out of bounds. IPFW then will have the ball inbound, maybe. And
Nice
there's a good steal, but Conley got her hands on it, turns, gonna put it up, shoot, no good. Almost over the back, and Recker has it.
And she's fouled. That's on
number 41.
Mike Rosen.
It's hard to tell from there because and that's her 3rd foul. That's 3 girls with 3 with 3. It's hard to see. There was a lot of people in there fighting for the ball on that one. I think anyone that drew the foul was appropriate.
So she'll sit down, and Podgorski comes back in.
Kim Recker to shoot the free throws. First one is good, so she earns herself a second shot so far. 1:26 remaining here in the first half. IPFW up by 27 points. And the second one is no good.
Has it?
Annie Leakin up and no good. Lewis rebounds. I tell you though, I say like that, 27 points. IPFW was down by 21 against St. Joe, and we're able to come back and only lose by 10. And there's a good basket drive by Ann Hutchison.
Well, I'll give you a buck if Lewis can come back.
I'd say the same. I'm just saying though that lead doesn't always mean a lot, but today I think it'll probably pretty much stand. Conley running into some difficulties. Out to LaRue, dumps it inside to Recker. She shoots and no good. Conley gets the rebound.
Yep. And she stepped out of bounds.
That's a little bit of inexperience in the players that are out there right now. Almost a second string out on the floor for IPFW. And there's a long pass, and it's thrown out of bounds. Lewis does get their hands on it. IPFW gains control again of the ball. 46 seconds remaining, 47-22, IPFW lead. Not having too many difficulties at all today with this Lewis squad. And they're going to dump it inside, and Recker's fouled twice. They'll get the first one.
Ping pong ball.
Only one foul will count, though, and that's going to be on number 50, Emmy Pager.
Good look at Kim Recker shooting the first of. That's going to be one free throw. Hutchison again on the drive.
And that shot, but no good by Knack. IPFW going down. Oh, nice idea by Dressler. Oh, and there's a nice hook shot there by Michelle Conley.
I don't think that's in the IPFW playbook, but it worked out.
It worked. I don't think Michelle was expecting that ball, but she got it and hooked it up, and it went in.
Michelle was going drive around me, and instead got the pass.
And there's another basket by Ann Hutchinson, which definitely is probably their leading scorer, I would say. As we wrap up the first half right now, 49-24 IPFW. And that's a good start for IPFW tonight, Steve.
Yeah, it's always nice to lead by more than the other team has. A 25-point lead, 49-24.
And we hope you stay tuned. If you do, at halftime, we'll have Sports Report with Alan. Oh, I'm sorry, I cannot read this.
Alan Bangs.
Alan Bangs. Thank you, Steve. I'm glad. And Campus Calendar with Rajon Rogers. And so if you can stay tuned, you can tune into that, and then you'll know when we come back out for the second half of action.
Thanks for joining us for Lady Don basketball. We'll be back at the gym for the second half of action in minutes. Right now, let's take a look at the latest IPFW sports news. This past Thursday, both the men's and women's teams opened their 1992 Great Lakes Valley Conference seasons. Both were exciting games, and today is your lucky day because we've got the highlights. Lately, there's been a lot to cheer about for IPFW. They have a 6-1 record and an 11th ranking in NCAA Division II polls. St. Joe, however, proved that the Mastodons still have some things to learn. Lowell Harper slices through the lane to give the Pumas a 6-2 lead. There at the other end of the floor, Kevin Shank finds Marcus Allen, who scores the easy lay-in. The St. Joe defense was stingy all night. Perry gets the steal and the clean breakaway. A frustrated Andy Piazza watches his team go into halftime, losing 28-24. Out of the gate in the second half is Damon White of St. Joe for a deuce. IPFW found the basket a little more often in the second half. Claire's Rich performs his specialty, hitting three-pointers. The Dons make it tough. Eric Vaughn hits a tray for IPFW to pull within one. The game would remain close to the very end. Andy Piazza wonders why he can't have a nice, relaxing blowout. IPFW finally grabs their first lead when Pat Murphy converts with just moments left on the clock. This makes the big crowd at the Mastodome overjoyed. The Dons remain tough, pulling out an exciting one, 55-51, to open GLVC play. Eric Vaughn once again came off the bench to lead IPFW with 12 points. The women also had their first GLVC contest Thursday night. Let's join the action in the second half. The Lady Dons trailed the Pumas 43-30. They would dig themselves into a deeper hole, though. Sloan Hoy finishes off a St. Joe fast break. Fort Wayne native Tia Glass scores for the Pumas. St. Joe converted their first 5 possessions en route to a 21-point second half lead, and Coach Kleinfelter doesn't find the situation appealing. By no means did the Lady Dons lay down and die, though. Amy Hogan starts the IPFW rally with a pair of jumpers here. All-star Lisa Miller will hit a free throw here to pull IPFW within 11. Miller was perfect from the charity stripe, hitting 14 of 14. And Coach Kleinfelter is getting a little bit happier about the situation. All around, another stellar performance for Miller, who drives the lane for a deuce here. 30 points in the night for Miller. Miller scores again here to get the Lady Dons within 4. And that's a 21-point lead they cut to 4. It wouldn't be enough, though, however. Down the stretch, St. Joe played tough. Here's Sloan. Hoy nails a tough shot. 22 points for Hoy. A good effort by the Lady Dons, but they come up short, losing 88-78. Stay tuned for the second half of Lewis University versus IPFW. For Channel 6 Sports, I'm Alan Bangs.
There was a time many people thought that economics had very little to do with everyday life. Today, it seems there's very little in everyday life that does not have to do with economics. Enroll in the Economics USA telecourse. It's an education for life.
mind when you think about statistics? Polls, gambling, maybe baseball. Sure, but how about lightning, lobsters, music, chocolate cake, sex discrimination, heart attacks, potato chips, traffic, the ozone layer, Shakespeare, monkeys, dancing, drug testing? If some of these things didn't make your list, then you should be watching Public Television's new statistics series, Against All Odds.
Excuse me, ma'am, can you help us? I'm sorry, Sir, please help our brother. Ma'am, we need some blood for our brother. Please.
I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Sir? Please, ma'am.
Oh, not now, baby.
Our brother really needs blood. Can you help us?
Imagine if you had to ask for blood to save the life of someone you love. Next time the American Red Cross asks, give blood, please.
You're the first in this family to get into college.
I'm so proud of you.
I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you.
I didn't mean to let you down.
I understand. Maybe next year. Maybe.
Hard-working students deserve a chance. Please, support the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
For over 2 millennia, Western society has generated a rich visual tradition of painting, sculpture, and architecture. What do these images mean? How can we understand them? Art of the Western world will take you on an exciting journey that will suggest answers to these and other questions. Beginning in ancient Greece and ending on the brink of the future, it will examine many of mankind's most enduring artistic achievements.
Thanks for tuning in to Channel 6 Sports. I'm Rajan Rogers with the campus calendar for the week of January 6th through the 12th. On Monday, January 6th, the Modern Foreign Languages Placement Test will be held in Walb Memorial Union Building, room G21 at 9 a.m. The placement orientation will be held in Walb, room 222 at 5 p.m. For Tuesday, January 7th, the placement orientation will be held in Walb, room G21 at 4 p.m. On Wednesday, January 8th, the Nursing Challenge exam is scheduled to be held in Kettler, room 108 at 9 a.m. The placement orientation will be held in Walb, room 222 at 5 p.m. Thursday, January 9th, activities include the college-level exam program, also known as CLEP, will be held in Walb Room 222 at 8:30 a.m. The placement orientation will be held in Walb Room G21 at 2 p.m. ASTRO, the Adult Students Reentry and Orientation Program, will be in the Classroom Medical Building lobby at 5:30 p.m. The Career Assessment Group, Interpretation, will be in Walb G21 at 5:30 p.m. FAST, Future Academic Scholars Track Program Student Ambassador Meeting will be in Walb Room 222 at 6:30 p.m. And for Friday, January 10th, the Nursing Information Meeting is scheduled in Kettler, Room 108 at 1 p.m. The Martin Luther King calendar display presentations will be held in Kroninger Magnet School at 2 p.m. For Saturday, January 11th, the FAST program Saturday Academies will be held at 8:30 a.m. On Sunday, January 12th, the Computer Art and Ceramics exhibit will be held in the Fine Arts Building, the first floor corridor. It will be running through 8 a.m. through 5 p.m. Also on Sunday, the opening reception for the Christian Nault art exhibit, which will be held in the Fine Arts Building lobby at 2 p.m. As an academic reminder, the regular registration days will be January 6th through the 9th. The payment deadline for classes will be January 9th. Classes will begin on January 13th. The late registration and drop ad deadline is the 13th of January through the 17th of January, and the last day for a full refund for classes will be January 17th. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Campus Calendar. I'm Rajan Rogers, and I hope you've had a happy new year.
And welcome back to the IPFW Mastodons, as they call it. IPFW taking on Lewis University tonight, the Lady Flyers, who are not flying too well as IPFW leads this game 49-24. And they've been predominantly just outscoring them, out-rebounding them, playing better defense. And here's some halftime stats that I think Steve can fill us in with.
Well, here are some of the problems Lewis is having. 11 of 27, just shooting 40%, while IPFW is 19 of 41. 46% shooting, and of course the Lady Dons have had a lot more opportunities to shoot at the basket because Lewis keeps turning the ball over. A stat we don't have up there is Lewis has turned the ball over 14 times, just 5 for IPFW. And as you see in the free throw shooting, IPFW has drawn a lot more fouls. 11 of 19 from the line. That's not very good, but Lewis is only 0 for 1. So those stats kind of the key there. The Lewis Flyers, a very young team, a lot of sophomores, some freshmen, not a whole lot of senior leadership out there, where the Lady Dons, of course, a veteran ball club led by Division II's leading scorer, Lisa Miller. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's right. They definitely a veteran ball club that just started out in their first season game just a little bit shaky against St. Joe, and obviously showing their abilities tonight. Right now in assists, IPFW has 10, Lewis with only 3, and in rebounding, IPFW with 30 rebounds to Lewis's 13. Like we said before, we already covered the turnovers. They have 14, and IPFW with only 5. And IPFW has stolen the ball 6 times to Lewis's 1, and that mostly came in the first part of the first half, where IPFW pressed them full court and caused a lot of problems. Team fouls definitely unbalanced, with Lewis with 15 and IPFW at 6.
Leading scorers in the ball game, Lisa Miller. Actually, she's not the leading scorer tonight so far. Pam Edwards has tossed in 15 points. Lisa Miller with 11. Lisa sometimes has a slow first half and then finishes up with a big second half. She had 30 on Thursday. Shelly Sands, a strong 9 points. Amy Hogan with 5. Tina Manier with 4. And Michelle Conley with 4 points. And Kim Recker has a free throw. For Lewis, Ann Hutchison, who has only played in 1 game so far for the Flyers.
Sorry,
Hi,
Steve.
Mom.
Here we
How
go.
you doing?
Hello. Yeah, we'll say hi, Mom.
She's the leading scorer, surprisingly, for Lewis with 11 points. Bonnie Richrath has not scored. Brenda Rosen, 4 points. Julie Giles with just 2. Renee Kanak with 5 points. Lisa Binder with 2 points for a total of 24. As we said, they're down by more than they have in the first half, as IPFW a commanding 49 to 24 point lead. Probably the only question in the second half is, who are we going to name as the Dandy Don player of the game?
Oh, right now I'd say definitely we're leaning towards Pam Edwards if she plays any type of second half as like she did the first half. Like we said, Lisa Miller always comes back in the second half, and unless she blows like some 50 points or something, I don't know, gets some huge score, we'll bypass her. We'll come back to her again later on in the season.
Well, if the margin stays the same, I'm sure Lisa's not going to play a whole lot the second half, because this is an opportunity for Coach Kleinfelder to play a lot of the younger players who haven't seen much playing time. In fact, she only used 8 players in Thursday's ball game. Most everybody's gotten into the game so far tonight. A couple still are on the bench, but they should see some action. A note about Lisa Miller, she's now scored in double figures 68 straight ball games, and 89 of 92 in her career, so a streak still alive and going strong as Lisa looks to finish out her career with probably every IPFW scoring record, and off to a good start, 11 points tonight, and I'm sure she'll get near 20 before she sits down at the end of before the end of the ball game.
And not only IPFW records there with the type of scoring that she's had in the NCAA, I think she'll set some records there, and that's nice to know. With a school like IPFW is definitely growing. They have around 11,000 students in their enrollment right now, and for a community campus that's all, there's no housing here at all. You know, everyone has to commute. There's a lot of people who work a job at this, so that says a lot for the university, the type of athletic programs that they have here. If you've never been out here, it's really a good chance to come out and see some good teams play. A lot of local players that you formerly saw in high school are out here in both the men and women's basketball. A lot of names that you'll know. We've got a lot of Dwinger players here on the women's team, and I know that there's some Concordia and Dwinger and a lot of local players on the men's team who are also playing very well this season. So, you know, if you don't have anything else to do, come on out, support IPFW Athletics. It's a great program. And I'm sure that the teams would both definitely love all the support that they can get from anyone that would just like to come out and watch them play.
And as you're driving around campus, you don't look for a sign that says Mastodon. It's the multi-purpose building.
It's the multi-purpose building, and I believe that if you come out soon, that will still be that way, and that is soon to change also.
That's right.
I'm not sure the correct name. It will be something with Hilliard Gates, and leave it.
Call it the Hilliard Dome.
The Hilliard Dome, and it might get named that because the multi-purpose building and the Mastodon, I don't know.
Sure.
But, yeah, there's a lot of construction out here, but definitely try to find your way out. IPFW gets started quick, and Pam Edwards misses, rebounds herself. Up and no good.
Okay, there's a foul.
And Lisa Miller tries to put it back up. Doesn't get it to fall, but it's fouled. And that's a quick foul for Lewis as they were in foul trouble early in the first half. And that's Julie Giles' fourth personal foul.
That's big problems now for Lewis.
Well, she's not their leading scorer, and surprisingly, I guess we should say, Ann Hutchinson is leading for Lewis, and she was definitely down on their stats coming into tonight's game, but playing very well for the Lady Flyers right now.
I believe she was injured, and that's why she hasn't seen much playing time, because she's obviously a high-scoring player for this ball club.
And both are good for Lisa Miller as her statistic points continue to go up. 51-24 IPFW lead. And the fans are just kind of sitting back and watching this one tonight, I think with a little bit of pleasure after the loss to St. Joe.
Number 50 is Emmy Pazier. And Shelley Sands has the unenviable task of trying to contain her inside, but Lewis turns it over.
We are back to our starting lineup. When we ended the first half, we were pretty much with all second string. I don't think anybody was in there that normally starts at the end of the game, and I think she'll give these girls a little bit of a chance to get going. And there's a good basket by Tina Manier, as I did lose her behind the screen.
Yeah. Manier's got 6 points on the night. Her foot was on the three-point line, so just a regular basket. Giles had a nice screen.
Giles turns, looks, shoots, and scores.
She's the tiniest looking player I've seen on the court for a while. She's short and doesn't look like she has a whole lot of weight, and she's bounced around pretty good sometimes.
Well, it'd be tough to say a 5'6" veteran sophomore. She is one of their older players on Lewis' team. And there's a shot by Lisa Miller. And that one was nothing but net.
55-26 now. We may be opening up the press guide and reading to you from it later in the half.
And A.B. Hogan finds the floor.
Kanik got a bucket. Lewis on the board in the second half.
Inside to Edwards, she turns, nice move to the basket, doesn't fall, draws the foul, and I believe that's on Giles, and that's her fifth.
She's walking to the benches if it is.
And it is, that's her fifth foul. She will take a seat.
Her fifth personal foul, team second.
And she's a little upset as she kicks a chair.
She's real upset with herself, but you got to understand it. If you have a shot there, you can see her with her hands over her face. But the coach gave her a hand coming in, and that's obviously the a good coach with a young team like that, just basically trying to get them to play certain offenses and playing well on defense, and just saying, hey, hang in there. This is going to be a tough year, but we'll get through it. And Pam Edwards sinks the first.
Well, you got to play with emotion to really play well, and obviously she plays hard and got to be disappointed with fouling out with just 4 points and early in the second half.
And Pam misses the second one, and I have to laugh about that one. The only good thing about that foul out is we don't have to name Podgorski anymore. Oh, no, we do.
Yeah.
I got the wrong player. Giles.
Yeah.
Darn. I was hoping it was one of the more difficult players. And there's a foul on IPFW on number 44, Amy Hogan. And that's her second, team's first of the second half so far. Lewis has 2 fouls, team fouls. And they look to go inside, nowhere to go as IPFW shuts down the lane. And there's a shot from the outside, and they get the roll. Number 32, Renee Koenig, got that one to fall from the outside. And there's a shot by Shelly Sands. Nice jump shot up and good. And I think IPFW is going to make Lewis shoot from the outside. They're pretty much shutting down the lane and not giving them much opportunity to take an inside shot. And there's a shot up and good by Renee Koenig. And she gets a couple quick baskets in the second half.
She's now at 11. Hutchison had 11 in the first half for the Flyers and hasn't been able to, she really hasn't touched the ball yet in the second half.
And they dump it inside of Edwards. She turns, runs all into traffic, and before the shot, we're going to call a foul. And
Which red got her, I think?
I don't know if he called on that or number 50.
Like I said, it was 50.
And he got 50. Emmy Pazier. Looked like it could have gone either way, really. Both had a hand on her.
Pazier just got her first, that's all.
Right. Hogan Manier wants the quick ball, but doesn't have the open shot. And Miller loses it through her hands.
Turnover number 5, 6 for the Lady Dons in the ball game.
Lewis looking for an open shot. IPFW once again closing down that lane. Nowhere to go. A three-point shot. No good. And Lewis is out of bounds. It'll be IPFW basketball.
Shelly Sands almost went for the ball, then thought better of it, and IPFW retained or gets possession on the missed shot. Lewis really has the defense packed inside.
I don't think they want that ball to go into Edwards anymore, but she tends to find an empty spot. Over to Hogan. She finds an open hole, shoots, and a little long. Miller rebounds up and good off the glass. Amy had the right idea, just had a little bit too much power behind it.
The Lady Dons have enough good shooters that they can swing the ball around the perimeter if they're going to stay inside in that zone. And once they get the ball inside to Pam Edwards, she's been able to make them pay.
And there's, only a two-point shot as Ann Hutchison had her foot on the line. And Lisa Miller looks, nowhere to go. Almost drew a foul. Manier for three, no good. Sands rebounds up, no good. And I think it's going to be a defensive foul that time on Lisa Miller. I think that's her second.
Yep.
Third. My fault. Third foul. Lisa a little bit frustrated with herself. I saw arms straight up, but then once again I have a
got her with the body.
Slight area that I couldn't see, and I believe she did. IPFW going to a man-to-man defense. And this is something that they worked on. We'll see how well it pans out, and it's going to pan out for Lewis as they drove inside.
Nope.
And it's on Amy Hogan. I think Lisa got lucky on that one because, once again, she was right there also. It's just who got her first.
Thought just for a minute she might get nailed on that because she stepped in at the last second.
We got an IPFW timeout there, as that's one of the things we talked about earlier, that man-to-man, and they had a little bit of trouble with it right off the bat.
Tune in to Channel 6 Thursday evening, January 16th at 6 to watch the Lady Knights from Bellarmine College take on the IPFW Lady Dons. Then at 8, the Knights from Bellarmine battle the Dons. Catch all the action of GLVC doubleheader basketball right here on Channel 6 Thursday, January 16th.
And we're back, and that's the IPFW cheerleaders, and as they call them, the Donettes. I think they've got Don Crazy around here, but Don is our Mastodon, and he's very well liked by all the kids that do come out and watch IPFW basketball. And there's a few of the kids that are out here watching some of this great entertainment. And there's the ref for tonight's game.
So what you do is you stick a needle in him, and the ref starts
and calls that foul.
We can influence some calls.
So we'll have to watch as the game progresses and maybe get a shot up there on the next foul and see if he's got it right.
It's the funniest looking doll I've ever seen.
IPFW comes out a little bit late there out of the huddle. They're going to try the man-to-man again. And
Nice
there's a steal by Tina Manier. And the basket is good. And I guess whatever she said worked.
That inbounds defense really worked well.
62-34, 14:57 remaining in the second half of action here. And stay tuned if you have something else to do. Come back, men's action right after the women tonight. And Hutchison nowhere to go, but she gets rid of it as Brenda Wag-Rosen shoots and misses.
I imagine her friends call her Wags.
I would think. And Lisa Miller tries to drive the baseline, has the ball stolen.
A rare turnover for the Lady Dons.
And Lewis with the chance to score two more, and they do with that basket by Ann Hutchison.
Now, a lot of the Lewis Flyer points have come in transition tonight. Once the Lady Dons get their man-to-man defense in action underneath, it's been really tough. Their offense, the Lewis offense, just really hasn't been able to work against it very well at all.
And I think that's something definitely Eileen Kleinfelder wants to work on as they play tougher teams like St. Joe. And there's a
great passing.
Nice pass to Lisa Miller.
So Pam's had points, rebounds, assists. She's done it all tonight.
And there was nice hands on the ball there by Amy Hogan as she almost got a steal. And she's going to sit out along with Shelly Sands and Pam Edwards as Kim Recker and Michelle Conley and Dawn Dressler come into the ball game for IPFW. Lewis just trying to get anything, I think, going. Anything at all.
Well, it's practice time now. Just work on the offense and get ready for the next ball game.
And there's an open shot. No good.
Miller on the rebound.
That's a common saying. And up and
Took
good.
it all the way. They didn't really pay attention to her on the dribble down court, and she just went right to the hoop. That's 21 points now for Lisa Miller.
Tina Manier trying to cause Hutchison a little bit of problems out there as she passes the ball off. IPFW playing a tight man-to-man.
I imagine if Lisa gets to the 27, 28 point mark, Coach Kleinfelder might give her the rest of the night off.
And I think Lewis was looking for a foul there.
Well, Lisa created the turnover.
Lisa created the turnover,
timeout.
and we have a timeout there by Lewis University, and the Lady Flyers want to talk about it a little bit and see what they can do a little differently here as there's 12:46 remaining, 66-36. IPFW, 30 points.
We'll be right back for more GLVC basketball action right after these brief messages.
Ma'am, excuse me. Could you help me, please? Sir, could you help me, please? My little girl, she needs blood. Could you help me?
I'm sorry.
Somebody, please. My daughter, she needs blood. Could you please help? Somebody help me.
Imagine if you had to ask for blood to save the life of someone you love. Next time the American Red Cross asks, give blood, please.
And you're back at the IPFW multi-purpose building, and that's why we like to call it the Mastodon. Otherwise, it's a mouthful. IPFW with a 30-point lead And we're glad you joined us tonight. And the referee just fell apart up in the stands. He's in pieces. I don't think they were too happy with the last call or something. I don't know. I didn't see anything happen.
What's wrong with those kids?
I don't know. IPFW with the ball. Conley looking for Wrecker. Wrecker shoots. Gets the roll. As IPFW increases their lead in this ball game. Practicing her dribbling there, and Hutchison around the back. I'm glad you knew she was injured. I didn't know that earlier.
That was a guess. I just saw that she had one game played, and I figured she must have either been sick or injured.
Sick or injured, that's right.
Missed the team bus a lot. There's a replay in that last good defensive positioning there by Dressler.
And that foul was on Lisa Binder, her fourth. So Lewis in possibility of losing a second player here with about halfway to go in the second half. And there's Dawn Dressler with the shot. And that was a nice basket.
Let's get everybody in the scoring column tonight. Amy Perkins getting set to come in. She'll probably replace Tina Manier here in a second. Next dead ball. Leakin's also in.
Hutchison looking for someone open. Cannot find anybody. But does inside, and they're going to be a lost ball.
Turnover.
I almost think that the guys must have did something to the ref up there, because that whistle, I think, was even before she had her foot out of bounds. But I don't think he thought that there was going to be any chance.
Number 45, Tina Manier.
Got to inbound the ball.
Little pressure applied there, causing Annie Leakin to drop down to pick up the basketball. Dawn Dressler about to take that open shot. Paused a little bit, though. Came into a little bit of trouble. Perkins puts it up, no good. Rebound Lewis is it. Hutchinson's going to take it down all alone and does not score, but she's fouled by Michelle Conley. And I guess Michelle made sure that basket wasn't going to go in. And that to me is nothing more frustrating than to cause a foul and a basket count.
Well, that's something you don't like to see. That usually means you haven't gotten back on defense properly. Hutchison with 15 on the night after having scored 11 in the first half. She'll shoot 2. She's perfect on the year shooting free throws until that one.
And you helped her out a little bit.
I jinxed her.
And didn't you do that yesterday, I think, also? Or no, Thursday.
Yeah, I did it to somebody on our team, unfortunately. Hits that one.
Least, I believe, if I remember correctly. But that's beyond the point as IPFW brings the ball down the floor.
Miller's out, by the way. I guess she's getting the rest now.
Looking for the open player. Annie Leakin cuts inside. That drops to Wrecker, and that's up and good.
All night long, the Lady Dons have been able to get the entry pass into the person posting up, whether it be Edwards or Wrecker or Michelle Conley, and they've just cashed those opportunities in.
And you know that's different from the other night, so they obviously worked on that in practice because they were having a lot of trouble getting that ball inside.
And they're also not playing St.
Against
Joe.
St. Joe. That's true. But practice in a game like this also helps against a team like St. Joe. And that shot's up and no good by Perkins.
Look out.
And there's going to be a steal, but I guess not. And they're not going to call a foul or anything. It's going to be Lewis Balls. Dressler gets her hand on it. Takes Bonnie Richrath down with her.
A good no call, as they say.
Lewis just looking for anyone open.
They're trying to keep everybody out.
Have someone cut to the lane, and there was the attempt.
And it worked.
And it worked. As a fall-away jumper there was scored by number 31, Ann Hutchison. And Ann Leakin takes a shot and good. Nice 15-footer by Ann Leakin.
(74-39).
And Annie almost gets a steal. Stays Lewis Ball. Last off Leakin's hands.
Lady Dons contest every pass. go for every rebound.
Eileen hasn't relaxed much this evening, as once again she's up to make sure that these players are playing correct defense and doing what she wants on offense. And there's a foul on Ann Leakin. And that's something that's been difficult for IPFW, as this is Eileen Kleinfelder's first year, and with an experienced team, they've had to learn totally new offense and defense, and they've come a long way, though.
Well, 6-3 is a good start. Tonight it'll be 7-3.
And there was definitely a three-point basket by Ann Hutchinson, and she didn't have any problems dropping that one in. 9:16 remaining, 74-42. The Dons lead. They've never trailed in this game.
Jump ball called.
Conley trying to power it up. Had a little problems with Emmy Pazier, though. And it's the Flyers basketball.
One good thing for Lewis tonight with Hutchinson, for whatever reason she didn't play earlier in the year with the travel. She gives them another score. She's already got 21 points tonight, and coming into the ball game, Kanak and Richrath were the leading scorers at about 13 and 11 points, so they have some more offense now. And here come the starters for IPFW getting ready to come back in the game.
And Michelle Conley just gets a basket. Kind of surprised to see him come back in. I thought she'd play it out and get the rest of the girls in off the bench, and but I guess she sees something that she wants to work on with the main starters, so she's going to throw them all back into the ball game.
Or she may want to let them come in and then come out for some ovations or something like that.
And Ann Hutchinson gets another basket as she drives down the lane.
Ann Hutchinson seemingly doing it all by herself tonight.
And there's going to be a foul on Emmy Pazier.
And still out of bounds play for IPFW. And here come the starters. Have an odd move at 76-44.
I was just looking down to see if I could see the face of Lewis's coach to see if she's a little frustrated seeing the starting five come back in, as they already have quite a substantial lead against the Flyers. Lisa Miller taking it, running into Pazier. And there's a shot by Manier, no good. Rebound Lewis. And Pazier gets under the basket, but turnaround shot up and good. Nice move by Emmy Pazier.
Get out of her way when she goes up.
30-point lead, though. IPFW still has total control of this ball game, and Pam Edwards dumps it out to Sands, trying to dump it back into Miller, but Pazier gets a hand on it. Remains IPFW basketball.
Lisa Miller in the ball game with 21. Tina Manier has 8 tonight. Pam Edwards, 16 points, some rebounds and assists. Amy Hogan with 5, Kim Recker with 5, Michelle Conley 6 tonight.
Looks like IPFW is trying to run a new offense, dumping it in and out. And as Sands fights for the ball, is going to get the foul. And face-to-face, wasn't too happy there.
Little chin music there.
With Lisa Binder. But the foul is on Shelly Sands. And that's only her first team foul, team 6, so we're not in the bonus yet. And the Flyers will take the ball out of bounds. Shot up and good by Tiffany Lardy. She looked outside, no one to pass it to, turned back around and took the shot herself, and it was good.
Manier overplayed her and got burned.
Shelly Sands looks inside, nowhere to go. Cross court to Hogan. Hogan down to Lisa Miller. Lisa Miller drives, shoots, a little short, and that's going to be IPFW ball. Had to wait and watch on that one. I kind of thought that was heading the red direction.
They always point the other way that I think it's going to be in those plays. It's always someone in red just tipped that ball at the last second.
Tina Menier with the shot, and no good. Miller rebounds though, puts it up and no good. And
Starters are rusty.
And here we're going to have a pass down court to Pazier. She puts it up and off the glass too hard, and Ann Hutchison with a nice rebound and returns the shot back up and makes the basket.
Hutchison now at 25.
I think Pazier was a little surprised to find herself down on the other end of the floor. No one even around, and just put it up off the glass a little bit too hard.
Yeah, she probably doesn't leave the break too often.
And we have a white timeout. IPFW calls the time, I think, just to say let's keep going here, because we're only down 26 points instead of 30.
Tune in to Channel 6 Sunday evening, January 19th at 8 to catch the tape replay of tonight's ball game. Lewis versus IPFW. But right now it's 76-50, so the lead's down to 24 points. So I'm 26 points, excuse me. That's one thing when you have a really big lead in the first half, a coach wants to see the team maintain that lead and stretch it out even more. You don't relish killing someone by 50 points, but if you have a 30-point halftime lead, you don't want it to get under 30 in the second half. You want to see your team continually improve on the lead. I'm sure that's what Coach Kleinfelder is talking about for this second half, and perhaps why the starters are back in.
And we'll see what...
I think some kids are still playing with the rest of that referee up in the stands.
I guess the game has gotten old for them tonight.
That's the Dahmer children, I don't know.
Grown a little restless, and IPFW will see if they can get a basket here. Tina Menier with the ball out front. Looking for someone to cut through. Did not hit Miller. They get her on the outside. They're trying to look inside, although Lewis is doing a good job shutting down the inside. Amy Hogan takes a wild shot there.
Well, gotta be a turnover.
Oh, and we've got a couple people. Pam Edwards rolling on the floor, along with Bonnie Richrath, and Bonnie ends up on the line, so it's IPFW ball.
Well, Pam did a good job of avoiding the foul and trying to roll out of the way.
And there's the instant replay. As you see him, Pam had control of the ball, lost it, and Richrath kind of just fell out of bounds with it, and that gives it back to IPFW. I don't know what Eileen was questioning about there on the ref. They got the ball.
I guess
they're going to change it.
they didn't get the ball. That's what she's questioning. It could be that in fighting for the ball, Pam Edwards was the reason that the player for Lewis rolled out of bounds. That's perhaps the reason that Lewis gets possession.
Well, now we definitely see. Well, we definitely saw why she was questioning her, though. And Hutchison around the back. Nice move to the basket, but it doesn't fall. IPFW rebounds. Shelley Sands to Tina Menier. She's going to dump it to Miller. Up and good off the glass. And Renee Kinnick draws that foul. I should say Lisa Miller drew the foul from Renee Kinnick, that's for sure. And the basket is good, and there you catch Lisa Miller on the ground.
As you often see her after she gets fouled.
And Lisa will go to the line with a chance for three. Lisa, former Bishop Dwenger player. And that's a nice rebound there by Amy Hogan. And she'll get a chance there for a 1-and-1. No, 2 shots, I'm sorry. As number 34, Lisa. Oh, there, boy. I didn't see 42 around there, but that's why I'm up here. And Bonnie Richrath gets her first foul of the evening.
Pazier back in.
And Amy Hogan will be at the line, shooting 2. 78-50, back to a 28-point lead for the Dons.
Hogan trying to stretch it out to 30. She's got 5 on the night. I didn't say anything about her free throw shooting at that point. She missed the shot. So when that happens, it's not me.
And Amy Hogan is also a former Bishop Dwenger basketball player.
Hits
and
that.
That one is good.
Don't forget the men are coming up following this ball game.
And there's almost a steal by Tina Menier. She looks back at the ref for a foul, and ball off of Lewis's hands, and it'll be IPFW ball. And here comes Jamie LaRue, and I believe she's going to come in for Tina Menier. Once again, we said a little bit earlier, Tina's been ill lately, and I think just giving her a little bit extra break. LaRue is the first substitution that usually comes in when Manier goes out. And LaRue almost has the ball stolen away, but Lisa Miller comes back, takes control herself, pops it outside to Hogan. Edwards takes it up and good, and there's a nice short jump shot by Pam Edwards.
18 points for Pam. She's capable of a good 20, 25 point evening herself, but she led IPFW in scoring a couple games ago.
There's a shot, no good. And a rebound up and in by Brenda Wagrosen.
Wags had the bucket for Lewis.
I think we'll just stick with that, it's easier. And Sands jumps it into Edwards. Up
Took
she
a step.
traveled. And she realized it as soon as she did it. And here comes the rest of the players. Recker, Conley, and Dressler coming back in, and they're going to give the starters a chance to sit down. The only one still remaining in the ballgame is Lisa Miller. And I don't think she'll stay in here too much longer. Maybe they leave her in for a little guidance with the second string players. IPFW once again playing a man-to-man.
And a step.
And forcing a traveling violation. Turnover to IPFW.
Just been that kind of night for Lewis.
It's one of many of theirs. So we said, I think, 14 or 15 in the first half.
So they're well over the 20 mark by now.
Conley with the ball, looking inside for Miller, not open. They missed Dressler on the outside. She was wide open. They dump it into Recker. Recker pops it back out. LaRue takes a jump shot, no good. And Lewis comes down with the basketball. And Hutchison, practicing that dribbling, drops it inside. Nice look by Hutchison, and Renee Kennick scores two.
LaRue got lost on that defensive sequence.
Nice assist there by Hutchison. So I guess if she's not going to take the basket, she's going to help. And the ball stolen away by number 34, Lisa Binder. She drops it down, and the shot is no good. Lisa Miller recovers the basketball and is going to take it down and on her own, up and oh, what a shot.
You can't let a player like her just dribble on down court without stepping up and stopping her. You got to stop the ball, and they just let her have a little crease, and Lisa Miller knows what to do, and there's a lane to the basket. That's 25.
That's right. I think it's an automatic magnet. You don't close her off. She's definitely going to go to the basket. And there's a shot by Brenda Wagrosen. Hey, I got it right that time.
You did.
83-56, 2:45 remaining in the second half.
Oh, shoot, Lisa.
IPFW. Lisa stopped and stood there. Was going to shoot and didn't from the outside.
Only thing she hasn't done is take a three.
And there's a shot by Dressler, and that's a good basket by Dawn Dressler. 2 points. LaRue found Dressler wide open.
Melissa Shipp getting set to come in. LaRue steals, but can't save it. Whoa! Hello. She goes flying over the scorer's table. That's the kind of intensity.
Good effort.
So Lisa Miller finishes with 25 points, just a point or two off her national Division II leading scoring average.
2 minutes remaining. We'll see if Lewis can get some more baskets, and they do as Pazier finds out. Nice roll off the glass. And they're going to look for open shot. Annie Leakin will take it, and that basket is all net. Annie Leakin gets 2 more points. 1:36 remaining. I'm sure as Lewis continues to look up at the clock to see how much more time is left.
Yeah.
But they continue to play hard. And there's nice dribbling by number 23, Larae Gobin. We haven't seen anything of her, but she had nice ball control, but she ended up losing it. And
Nice
Riker
pass
scores
by
too.
LaRue.
couple of nice assists there by LaRue on the last two passes down. 89 to 58, 1:07 remaining, and they're going to get a second shot at it. And we have a jump ball, possession arrow to IPFW. Had to take on Pazier for that one.
Ship brings it up.
And they're going to open up the weak side again, and if they can, Annie Leakin's waiting over there, but she hasn't cut across. And there we have another jump ball.
Record dribbled in the traffic on that sequence.
Nowhere to go as Lewis closed her off from the basket. .41 seconds remaining, 89-58. Lewis gets the ball stolen, but Ship also has the ball grabbed back by Ann Hutchison. It was a jump ball, and this time it goes to IPFW. Possession. Like we said earlier, the possession clock has got a lot of use tonight, but it definitely has saved a lot of time over the back way of playing when they used to jump every ball. And Melissa Ship doesn't shoot. Over to LaRue. LaRue looks inside, finds Annie Leakin up, and she gets the roll. 8 seconds, 7, 6. Oh, and we're going to have a foul with 4 seconds left as Michelle Conley tries to close off the back door to Lisa Binder, but just couldn't get set and gets the foul. Binder will be shooting 2 shots. And the first one is no good. Lewis just trying to get through the rest of this ball game.
Trying to get this ball game over with.
Okay, either way. Second one is up and good. 31-point lead for IPFW, 1 second, and Annie Leakin couldn't get it up and in, and that wraps it up for the second game of JLVC action. And IPFW wins this one 91 to 59, and I'll leave Steve up here to fill you in with some of the points, and I'll head down the floor with our dandy Don of the game, and that'll be Pam Edwards, so stay tuned.
Okay, Lisa Miller finishes unofficially with 25 points tonight, just a point or so off her national leading average. She was averaging 26.7 to lead the nation, Division II NCAA women's basketball. Tina Manier with 8, Pam Edwards with 18, Shelly Sands with 11, Amy Hogan with 6, Kim Recker with 7, Michelle Conley with 6, and Annie Leakin with 4, and Dawn Dressler with 4. Some of the unofficial scoring. Once again, 91, and they flashed the score off. There we go, 91 to 59. The women are the victors tonight, and we'll be right back with our Dandy Don player of the game after these messages.
I believe that we can restore prosperity.
For over 40 years, the primary responsibility for shaping America's economic policies rested with the office of the president. To learn how these decisions are made and how they affect you, enroll in the Economics USA telecourse. It's an education for life.
I believe that we can restore prosperity.
For over 40 years, the primary responsibility for shaping America's economic policies rested with the office of the president. To learn how these decisions are made and how they affect you, enroll in the Economics USA telecourse. It's an education for life.
You were the first in this family to get into college.
I'm so proud of you.
I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you.
'Cause you don't know what I'm feeling.
I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I? I just can't afford to send you. 'Cause I can't go, can I?
I didn't mean to let you down.
I understand. Maybe next year. Maybe. Hard-working students deserve a chance. Please support the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
If you think mathematics is all in books you left behind in high school, it's time to think again. There's a new and vital mathematics in the world today, and it's at work in every area of our lives. It enables us to manage more effectively, with better routes, efficient schedules, and economical use of resources. It gives us control over the quality of our products and confidence in new ways to care for our children. It helps us understand the patterns and shapes of geometry as they occur in nature and in art. It makes possible every one of the amazingly diverse things that computers do. It helps us find fair ways to make group decisions and holds out hope for new ways to resolve conflict. Find out how the practical side of today's mathematics is affecting your life. Watch for All Practical Purposes.
91-59, the IPFW Lady Dons a winner over Lewis tonight. Want to remind you that we at IPFW are pleased to be able to bring you cablecasts of NCAA athletic competition. We hope you've enjoyed the games and the excitement of intercollegiate sports at IPFW. To provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of student workers and volunteers, we're able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost. Your contribution will help to defray the production costs not covered by the Channel 6 budget. The College Cable Access Center at IPFW invites you to invest in quality college programming by sending your contribution to the College Cable Access Center at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, the zip code 46805-1499. Please make your check out to the Indiana-Purdue Foundation at Fort Wayne and designate it for College Cable Access Athletics. Now let's go down to the floor. Christy Walker has today's Dandy Don Player of the Game.
Thanks, Steve. And joining me now is Pam Edwards, our Dandy Don of the game, and quite an impressive win over Lewis.
Yeah, we definitely needed a big win tonight after losing to St. Joe. Pitiful performance we put on defensively the other night. And it was a big win for us, and we definitely needed it.
What kind of changes did you make? Obviously, Lewis isn't the team that St. Joe was, but you have to play as hard. And what kind of things did you do to make this game come out the way it did?
Actually, we really didn't change anything. We stuck with what we've been doing all year. We just didn't have the performances we needed against St. Joe. And tonight our main emphasis was playing defense, something that was very lacking post play against St. Joe. And so we tried to take care of that. And, just try to perfect on the things that we do. We didn't try to change anything.
Well, you had a great inside game tonight, unofficially with 18 points, ready for 8 rebounds in the first half and a couple assists. Is that the game you want to play more often?
I think that's the game I have to play because we have to have a balanced attack from the outside as well as the inside. And if I can take care of the inside, then that opens it up for Tina and Amy and Lisa on the outside as well as on the inside. So we have to have a balanced attack to win every game.
Well, it was a great team effort. What do you look forward to as you go down the road?
I think if we just stick with what we've been doing and listen to Coach, that we'll do fine. Sometimes we get out there, and if we get a big lead, our intensity goes down a little bit. We just have to keep that up and keep everything as if it's like a 1 or 2 point game, no matter how much we're ahead or if we're behind.
Okay, well, thanks for joining me, and we're going to throw it back up to Steve.
Once again, 91-59 the final. The IPFW Lady Dons the winner. Their next ball game is next Thursday. They travel to Owensboro, Kentucky to play Kentucky Wesleyan. They take on the University of Southern Indiana in Evansville the following Saturday. Our next broadcast of women's basketball, January 16th against Bellarmine College. We'd like to take this time to thank the Channel 6 crew, the College Cable Access Center, and the Learning Resource Center at IPFW for their participation in the live production of our basketball game this evening. The telecast of this IPFW sporting event is the sole property of the College Cable Access Center at IPFW. Unauthorized copying, retransmission, or rebroadcast of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. Don't forget to join us on Thursday, January 16th at 6 and at 8. We'll bring you the live coverage of a GLVC basketball doubleheader between Bellarmine College and IPFW. Stay tuned to Channel 6 following tonight's game as we join University Network programming already in progress. The men's game versus Lewis is also coming up shortly. For Christy Walker, this is Steve Brailsford. Goodbye for now.